and bienvenidos, listeners, and welcome to Über Cinco, the podcast game show where we deep dive top fives. I'm Brian Ernst, your host for today's festivities, and today our contestants will reveal and defend their top 5 ways to get out of a social gathering. In the den, we have our special little guys. In the blue corner, weighing in at more here than he does on the moon, with a made-up record of 38-0, fists I can only presume are made of lead. It's Nathan, the corn-husking hunk Hennenfent. How are you, Nathan?
Oh, I'm great. I just braved the Chicago snowstorm going on right now to get across the street and get an auxiliary Coke Zero, so I am ready to go.
Nothing like an Ox Coke, baby. And next... And in the red corner is appropriately a ginger, weighing in at some measure of stone, wielding declawed paws that can barely open a Lunchable, hailing from St. Paul, Minnesota, where boxers are born. It's Mitch, the flaming flamingo Brinkman. Welcome, Mitch. How are you?
Thank you so much. I didn't know you knew that boxers were born in the Twin Cities. We were the first ones to wear loose plaid underneath our jeans. Thank you very much.
I knew it. I knew it. And a quick message for our returning listeners. We love pleasing your ear holes and are always looking for more to fill. So please consider dropping us a review wherever you download fine podcasts, and be sure to share with your friends. And if you have a topic or Fast Five you're dying for us to cover, head on over to bizbear.biz to submit your suggestion. Today's topic is in fact submitted by the corn-husking hunk's sister, Mrs. Laurel Bingaman, and keeping with the sibling theme for the day, please welcome to Über Cinco today's guest judge, my sister, Allison Macaroni Butter. How are you, Allison?
Oh, fantastic. How are you guys?
Better now. And for just one more. There we go. Allison's in the ring. And as a reminder, don't forget to stick with us until the end of the show, where we, Brian and Allison Ernst, will give you our Fast Five send-off, where we'll rattle off the definitive list of the top 5 last meals requested by serial killers. Nice light topic to end the day. And for you newbies, let us wake you out of hibernation with a quick rundown of the rules.
Each player in the den has spent time with today's topic arranging their top 5 answers in order of importance. Those answers have been submitted to the host, who will moderate the game, awarding points to the player with the most poignant answer.
Starting with their number 5 choice, we will move up the ranks until we reach each of their top answers. But if both contestants happen to have the same answer on their list, well, we have an Uber stare-down.
You will hear the official Über Cinco siren, and both players must reveal their answer and what number they ranked their submission. An Uber stare-down is all or nothing, with one player earning 3 points. After all answers have been read, the host will reveal the final score. And as host, I'm entitled to institute a house rule for today's game. When referring to yourselves in the third person, it must be as corn-husking hunk and flaming flamingo, or Allison has full authority to dock points from both of you. Nathan,
Okay.
You won the pre-show decathlon, so you will go first with your number 5.
Okay, that was
Wait,
corn-husking
hold on.
hunk, right?
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. You said when I refer to myself in the third person, or when I always... Instead of saying I must say the flaming flamingo.
When you choose to refer to yourself in the third person, it has to be the flaming flamingo.
Got it. Okay.
So don't mess it up when you're off the cuff.
The flaming flamingo has heard you and is ready to go. Okay.
All right, Nathan, your number 5 way to get out of a social gathering.
All right, my number 5 is anything to do with your kids. No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. This is the most invalid excuse. I know I'm not following the traditional Uber Cinco format here, but my number 5 is the opposite of what we're going for. Anything to do with your kids doesn't count. This is simply too easy. No one's going to believe it. You're not fooling anyone. So, how many other people in the group have kids and still made it out? So, you're obviously using your kids as some prop in your charade, and how dare you? You already brought them into this world without their permission, and now they're a weapon you wield against your friends. And when you're feeling antisocial, what kind of a monster are you? And there's plenty of ways around this. You shove them off on the grandparents. No matter how often they see them, they're always going to be thirsting for more grandkid time. And how about the aunts and uncles? Like myself, your kids are going to need some time with them. Folks who will let them get away with behavior that they won't get away with at home. It'll get them out of their system. They'll be better behaved around you. And also, it's time they'll spend with someone who can tell how it really is. Enough of your worldview that you've been pushing on them, which I assure you is not as full of sage wisdom and enlightened truths as you think it is. So get your ass out of the house. And people with kids like to turn this one around on me. And this one really gets my goat. So the classic line that I hear all the time is, "Oh, you'll understand when you have kids." And this is just pure bullshit. First of all, it's condescending. Second of all, I definitely understand. And in fact, I understood way before you did. And that's why I don't have kids. I saw this shit coming a mile away. So I don't have children. And when I do, I will be old and curmudgeonly enough that no one is going to want to invite me anywhere anyways.
Very fair.
Wow.
Man, Laurel doesn't come to your Manchester United / Lisa Fisher themed party once, and your goat has been gotten forever. Let it go, all right? Just get some salve, repair the burn. You know, I think we need to get Laurel on here, and you need to forgive her. You need to forgive her because this is clearly about your sister.
This wasn't.
Oh, baloney! Bull roar! Bull roar!
It's directed at all because I knew she would be listening, so I wouldn't attack her directly. But
why not? She's your older sister. That's who you got to attack.
It's. I don't
we
know
are not here for your amusement, folks.
This isn't directed at my beloved sister who's listening, but it is directed at literally every other person I know with kids. although I am sneaking it in there that I would definitely, when the pandemic is over, I am looking forward to getting my sister and my brother-in-law out into their social world where I get to stay home with my nieces and cause all sorts of trouble. Maybe a little light vandalism to the house will occur. I don't know. I've had a few ideas. So
why stop at light vandalism? Come on, this is 21st century. Let's go.
Well, I need to keep it under control because if this express train that is my life goes off at the tracks at any point, I'm counting on their basement to be my home base. So I don't want to shit where I live, so to speak.
I mean, at least you're playing the long game, and we can appreciate that.
Wow.
But you really
there's going to be a lot more of those in my list today, these long games.
All right. You did go against the grain, so Allison, make sure you mark that he kind of broke the rules, but think on this one a little bit as we move on to Mitch for his number 5.
What quick question, Nathan, if a person is skipping your social gathering, but they stop by like 15 minutes before it starts with their children, and they say, "I'm so sorry, but Talcum and Rub-a-Dub have got to go to soccer right now. They're right here, and they're in their jerseys, and they're in their little kid jerseys, and they're like, Talcum and Rub-a-Dub got to go kick around." And you're like, "Oh, Talcum and Rub-a-Dub, you're so cute."
Well,
is that okay? Or like,
if I, the corn husking hunk, have friends that have kids, they're not going to be named Talcum and Rub-a-Dub. Those people would have been expelled from my life long before. So
I don't know. Wait, so Nathan, you're saying we're not going to be friends later?
Hey, you haven't made your final decision yet, but when you do, take that into account. Also, if I sent out invitations and it was formal, Talcum and Rub-a-Dub would not be on the list. They wouldn't be named in the stationery, so they're not welcome.
I get it. I get it. And I also just want to say right here, I know Johnson & Johnson is getting flack for their baby shampoo, whatever. It poisons the babies and their talcum powder. But they're still a great American company. So everyone get off Johnson & Johnson's back. All right, sorry. We can move forward now.
Just choose the right poison for your baby while picking brands. Mitch, your number 5, please.
Oh, yeah, my number 5. So this one it's pretty simple. And that is morning of, or if it needs more time to be made, you start the night before your social gathering. Let's say it's a barbecue at 3:00 or whatever. In the morning, you're getting up and you're making a Texas State Fair blue ribbon winning beef chili. And this is not ground beef. This is real chunks of steak. This is extra spicy. This is you're getting kidney beans, you're getting navy beans, you're getting cannellini beans. Fuck, throw in some black beans. Why not? Put them all in there, and then you're going to just experiment with it and just see how much you can eat right up until you leave for the social gathering. And you're going to get there early, too. So you're going to show up 15 minutes early, and you're going to make your host clean their bathroom for a second time. And then clearly at that point, you'd be like, I'm not feeling great. There's a demon inside my stomach and a dragon in my ass, and I got to go. So, and there it is. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. You can drop. Maybe you bring a cheap bottle of wine, but you have it wrapped up so they can't see how cheap it is. And they're not going to open it before you leave, so they think you brought a nice bottle of wine. So you leave under great circumstances, and then you go home, and then you dive into a great book as you finish getting the rest of that chili out. So.
Okay, you said you leave under great circumstances by leaving them a cheap bottle of wine and destroying their bathroom.
Well, no, the bottle of wine is wrapped up, so they just think you just say, "Oh, I brought you guys a nice bottle of red. Enjoy."
Yeah, and it's $3 Chuck from Merchant Joseph's. That's exactly what people want.
Well, so now in the moment they're grateful to you, but then once they open it later that night, hopefully when people are drunk, so they don't even realize whose wine it was. Or they think, what a dick, and then they don't invite you next time. So,
but what about the destruction of their bathroom that they need to re-clean? Why is that leaving on a good note?
Well, I mean, it wasn't on purpose. Oh,
it
wasn't on purpose.
Accidental destruction of property. Yeah,
you can
no
blame
one's
it
ever
on.
gonna.
You can blame it on talcum and rub-a-dub.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You're like, I had to go to a crappy children's restaurant with talcum and rub-a-dub this morning, and so I got something, whatever it was. No, but no one's gonna tell you to fuck off and go kill yourself if you have stomach troubles at their house during a party. They're in party mode. They're not here to judge you for the tummy rumbles. So
I hope nobody says that to you at a party ever.
So that's why I'm saying you can still leave on good circumstances because they just feel bad for you. So you've entered their home.
Okay, you're playing the sympathy card here because you
gave them a crappy bottle of wine, and then they feel bad for you, and they're like, "Get home as soon as you can." Text us when you're home, that kind of thing. And you're like, I hope I make it.
You have the ass dragon breathing fire.
Exactly.
And hellstorm all over their porcelain.
Your butt, your butt is destroying the story, and it's gonna melt the throne, and it won't melt anything else in the room, just the throne. So.
Oh, okay. I also like how you've gone through the work to pick the best kind of steak to give you the worst outcome. Why not buy bad beef to make sure that you're going to destroy the porcelain?
Well, no, because then you're actually you could actually get food poisoning, or this way your stomach's going to have a hard time dealing with it. So.
Mitch, do you have the ability to diarrhea on command?
If I make just the right cream sauce for my pasta, don't invite me over. Do not invite me over. So, if I post to Instagram at 4:00 being, it's a linguine or something like that, I'm staying home that night. So,
talcum and rub-a-dub wet the bed and you've been up late making yourself some pity pasta. All right. That is round 5. We got to score it out. Guest judge, my sister, Allison, what do you think of giving points to these gentlemen? What would you give Nathan for his number 5?
Wow.
That's
wow.
encouraging.
Now, Allison likes children, right? You're fond of children.
This is true, which would make me err on the side of Nathan, because he's pushing to hire the babysitter. Therefore, I have a gig to make money.
Oh, so
well, I
this is
didn't
how
think
you're
about
looking
that.
out.
So
for
that's
it.
how I would benefit from this situation.
Wow. So this is all about you making money. Okay, yeah, I got it.
I got student loans, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that I'm going to give Nathan. I'll give Nathan 2 because I agree with it and I benefit from it. So those are my 2 points there.
Wow.
And for Mitchell's ass dragon, how many points?
I'm going to give him.
Wow, the enthusiasm is just unbridled.
She's got a.
Do you want to hear what kind of peppers I'm going to put in the chili? Because that I think might really bring it home. Half habanero, a quarter Anaheim, and a quarter jalapeno. So,
Wow.
That's a fight for the bathroom. Hey-oh.
I don't know. I think I'm going to have to give Mitch 1 point because I can't stand chili. And the thought of doing that to make myself sick is just,
God.
I'll just lie from the get-go saying I have stomach problems. Why put myself through the pain?
That's fair
My God.
enough.
Well, because you don't want the people to think you're just lying to them.
I also don't want to destroy my friend's bathroom.
I mean, that's part of the fun, though. Why not just take X-Lax at this point?
Just bypass it all.
It'd save you a lot of good food being wasted by it being just forced out of you.
Well, hold on there. When I get home, I'm gonna add a lot more tomatoes to that thing and some corn, and it's gonna
And the
get
chili's
it
not
mild
even
again.
done? What is this, my unfinished basement? Come on.
No, I'm gonna add more to it. I'm gonna up the volume and reduce the spice. So
And
I will
ruin
say,
your bathroom.
for this number 5, I thought for about 10 minutes today about how I would use syrup of ipecac to get out of going to a party. Like, do you step out of the Uber at a near a backyard and be like, guys, I'm here, and then vomit right on the grass and then be like, never mind, going home, turn around, get back in the Uber.
If you
Or
already
would
have
you
a
wait
plan
till you're
to use
inside?
Ipecac, why not just like poison the punch and make everybody else sick and be like, I gotta get out of here before I get sick?
I also thought about that, making everyone else sick with me just to end the party, and then no one's got to do social gatherings. But
All right, at least the Flaming Flamingo got 1 point, so I can live.
thank you.
Let's jump back to Nathan for his number 4.
Okay, my number 4, myself, the cornhusking hunks number 4, is you tell the person inviting you, or the group of people inviting you, that you have just read The Trouble with Being Born by Romanian-French philosopher Émile Cioran.
Ah, yes.
So you've just been introduced to the concept of ennui, the longing, despair at the lack of meaning and absurdity of human existence, and you're relieved that the word even exists. And it isn't even worth the bother to kill yourself, because you always kill yourself too late. Only optimists find despair. The others who have no reason to live, why would they have reason to die? So, what do you do throughout life
Sorry.
from morning to night other than endure yourself? So anyone who doesn't believe in themselves to be in exile has no imagination. Only the village idiot believes they belong. And pessimism is the perfect antidote to saccharine sentimentality and technological miracles of our times, with our sadness covered by the empty smiles of thousands of selfies plastered over social media. You wish to spend time with people who are at the pits of despair, who have no strength to summon sentimental illusions. At this point, no one is going to want to continue this conversation with you at any party, so you'll be left to your devices to brood under the covers in the dark, watching King of Queens reruns with a 1-gallon root beer float, with the root beer replaced by gas station bourbon, or jug liquor, as it's been referred to on this show in past episodes. And if someone actually does want to continue with this conversation, you know they're a huge party pooper, and in fact so depressing, you don't want to be around them ever again in your circle of friends, which is normally full of cheerful people and your ever-present joie de vivre. And so you can surgically joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre.
I wasn't listening to the audiobook. I was only reading, so forgive me. So you just surgically remove these people from your life, and while they're excited about the conversation, it seems like you may have painted yourself into a corner, and they want to keep you at the party to talk about this. Then you fall back on Mitch's plan and just tell him you have the shits.
Wow.
So I kind of fell asleep to the beginning of that. So I got to try and get out of my blackout here and figure out what happened.
See, it works.
Yeah, it totally works. I mean, I don't know what happened, so you definitely are going to get some sort of points. Allison, mark that down.
It's pretty clear here. He's just an announcer, not an analyst. Okay, all right, keep going.
Wow. It's pronounced.
Boom.
It's pronounced analyst. I'll thank you very much. No, I am not an analyst, but not when it comes to Romanian French philosophers I am not familiar with. I don't have a lot to say on the topic, except I think this will work.
I will say if Nathan's at my house and he's talking Franco, Romaine, baloney, kill yourself stuff, I'm gonna ask him to go build a fire in the backyard. And it'll be a little bit. He's gonna be like, "Hey, where's the fire pit?" I'll be like, "Oh, you got to build one." And then just keep him busy on a project outside, away from other people, probably. Because this is sad. And I just want to say, I've carved myself out a little space here, and I deserve it. And I'm not going anywhere. So the jester remains. Thank you very much. But.
I like how your plan is the guy who's severely depressed. Let's get him outside and cutting logs by himself near fire and hope he's okay. When that is the joie de vivre that he has put out there for everybody to see. No, just put him outside. He'll be fine. He's been reading Romanian French shit. Just leave him outside. Lock the door. He'll be fine by himself. That is the worst idea.
Well, once he starts a fire, he can find his way around. I mean, I guess if he's got a phone, he can use the light from that. But
cool, yeah. Go out and back and fly blind with an axe. Let us know when it's lit. Thanks. All right, so I think you're gonna win with this, Nathan, in terms of getting out of a social gathering. You have to get to the gathering first, though, in order to get out. So this is a lot of work getting there. Putting on the charade to leave early. So this is leaving a social gathering early.
Charade, you mean?
Did I say charade or charade?
Yeah.
Are you going to sit there and criticize all damn day? Can we get out of the show?
I mean, again, I just want to say, clearly an announcer, not like a game analyst. I don't really know if he knows what he's watching here, Allison. So maybe you should step in and right their ship a little bit.
I think that docks Mitch a point already, Allison. You should mark that down. Okay, Mitch, give us your number 4, you son of a bitch.
I didn't refer to myself in the third person, but you know what? Yeah, Mitch is ready to go, and the Flaming Flamingo is going to throw it down right now, okay? Enjoy this one. Number 4.
It's -2
number
already,
4,
Allison.
wait. Wow, okay. Hey, college boy, do you want to keep drinking out of your red Solo cup there, huh? Listen to Toby Keith? All right.
I'm the one trying to keep the time. I don't know who's really making this longer except this
You're
goddamn
right.
ginger.
I'm gonna get us back on track here. Brian knocked me off the ways here. I'm gonna get back to my number 4. I'm gonna get the speed back up here. My number 4 is you always have a secret set of courtside season tickets to your local NBA franchise. And this works wonders because whenever there's a great social gathering, these come in handy. And the key is you never tell anyone in your social circle of people that you'll want to skip out on that you have the season tickets. You always have to pretend like you lucked into the tickets from someone you know at work or an international client who's in town, and this makes for an opportunity that nobody would pass up. Because if I'm having, a Thursday night party to welcome back, Will and Grace after their 10-year hiatus, and someone calls me at 5:00 and says, "Hey, I just got courtside tickets to the Charlotte Hornets. They're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight." I'm telling them, fuck Will and Grace. You go to that game. That's incredible. Send me shots from the game. And so this way you just always get to see courtside NBA action. And if you can't go to every game, then you sell them for giant markups and you make your money back anyway. But you always have the best outing from having to show up and be a friend. So, because everyone respects courtside seats. I mean, baseball, there's 81 home games, but courtside seats. I mean, that is the best seat in sports. There's nothing like that that compares in football. maybe if you accidentally befriended the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and he like brought you into the owner's suite for the rest of the season to like
accidentally.
eat brisket.
Yeah.
You bump into him in the men's room. What else just happened?
You're pretty cool. You should come back to the suite. And he's like, I've got a live longhorn cattle we're gonna kill and turn into brisket right in the owner's suite. And you're like, that would be the only thing maybe that would top NBA season tickets right on the court side. So I know this is expensive, but it's a great way to always get out of things. So
I mean, I'm behind on this. This would be a victory for me in multiple ways. So I have no complaints with this.
There's a downside to this, though.
why
You
is
said
that?
your local NBA franchise, not your favorite NBA franchise. So if you happen to have moved and live in a really bad town,
Well, then the tickets are even cheaper.
yeah. If you happen to be at a Pelicans game or a Toronto Raptors game and you got courtside, it's not going to have the same meaning as a Bulls or a Lakers game. So at least you'll be able to rub elbow with Jack Nicholson eventually in LA, which would be pretty sweet. But,
Sure.
hey,
Yeah.
Jack and Jerry Jones, welcome to this Lakers game.
I mean, if you have season courtside seats for the Lakers, then you must know Ari Gold or something like that, because trust me, those seats are not available right now. So this won't work in LA. If you live in LA, this won't work.
This won't
But
work. Caveat.
Being within 3 rows of the court works though in LA, because those tickets are spicy. But
If you couldn't use your beloved Minnesota Timberwolves, would be your
Sure.
second NBA franchise that you would choose for this scheme?
God, I would love to sit courtside for the Portland Trail Blazers. Watching Dame Time go down every fourth quarter at 5 minutes. He starts dealing. He starts swishing. He starts scooting, man. I'd watch that every night of the week. So
I can confirm to the Ernst sibling that is a thing. That is a valid
Okay.
answer.
You are playing to two people who have no idea what's happened in basketball since 1998.
What? Also, I know for sure at the Moda Center in Portland, they have an incredible beer selection. So I'm going to be drinking great beers. I'm going to be spilling great beers all over the court by accident.
I'm
And
gonna be drinking great beers. I'm going to be spilling great beers.
And I'm going to be accidentally crushing popcorn kernels into that pool of great beer on the court as well. So, yeah, that's my number 4.
This is a solid plan. So now we need to go to Allison for the official scoring
Sure.
between Mitch's NBA franchise and Nathan boring us all to death with some Franco-Romanian philosopher. Tell us, what would you score, Mitch? Allison.
I'm going to have to give Mitch 2, and I was going to give him 3, but then he dissed MLB, and I am a diehard Cubs fan, so you can't do that. So I'm going to have to just ding you 1 on that one. But keep referring to yourself in the third person. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Oh my God. The Flaming
for-
Flamingo appreciates this because, normally we score at least 10 points during one of these things. So I'm glad that, it won't be 1 here on out. So
And for Nathan's recital of the trouble with being born.
That was a solid 3 because I lost track after the first sentence. So,
Yeah, there it goes.
so clearly it works.
All right, we are going to go snake round this time. Back to Mitch for his number 3.
Sure. So this one is a classic, and it's everyone knows this does happen in actuality, but there's a little more in my brain to this one, and that is accidentally entering the event into your calendar wrong. Wink, wink. So you're like, oh, you said February 5th. I thought you said February 15th or whatever it is. And so before the social season begins, you do, this is how to set all this up so it works too. Because also in skipping a social gathering, you just want to skip the gathering. You don't want to lose your friends, right? Like you still want to be able to call those people in the middle of the night, when like you're injured or something, or like you desperately need 10 grand because there's like a great pair of shoes that's about to drop and you just like, you need this pair of Jordans,
Some Fuki Jamas, maybe.
Exactly. And you're almost positive that they're going to go up on StockX, like after you buy them, not down, you promise. But so before the social season begins, you do the classy grown-up thing, and you go down, if you're in Chicago, this is a Chicago specific one, you go down to J&S Photo Service in River North, and yes, it's that J&S, you guys, the one-stop shop for actors in Chicago with all their headshot and resume needs. But guess what? J&S also does regular printing. You guys know me. I love to highlight local businesses. And I love their from the desk of, quote unquote, stationery. And I like to put my own name on it for additional $15. So people know whose desk it's coming from when I send them a note. But they also sell classic, sturdy, and gorgeous thank you cards complete with envelopes. So you buy yourself a fat stack of these puppies, like at least 200. And if your resume pile is running low, order another 100 of those bad boys too. So, and you know what? Your headshot, it's 6 years old, but you've been taking care of yourself, skipping social outings where drinks are served, wink, wink, and fried foods are scarfed. And let's be honest, you didn't think those crazy 8 leg lifts would work as well as they are. Hello, cum gutters, what's up? And now you've beautiful thank you cards to send in your stead. Post party, of course, with a quick handwritten note inside thanking your annoying friend for being such a gracious host. You're sure you missed out. What a party. Oh, what a knuckle brain you are. Hugs and kisses, you. Or the Flamin' Flamingo. Now, people will always turn to putty in your hand if you write with your hand, right? And you don't know what to say? Google it. There are thoughtful notes all over the damn internet. And so you skip the party by accident entering it wrong, but then you send a wonderful thank you card instead, handwritten. It's gorgeous. Maybe you sent it, and they might love that even more because that'll sit on their mantle, and they'll remember you a lot more than just you showing up and drinking too much white wine and eating too much of your share of the ribs. So that's my number 3.
From the desk of Mitchell, I regret to inform you that this handwritten fella forgot to enter his Google Calendar details correctly. My handwritten bits are totally fine, but as soon as I need to enter it into a computer, I completely fall apart.
Well, scrolling with a mouse is hard because is it AM or PM? That always happens too.
It's the worst.
It flips easily. So now, of course, a big part of this is knowing all of your friends' addresses as well and having those on hand because you got to mail them to them.
That's the problem. I don't know where anybody lives anymore.
You've been to both our houses.
I know. And guess what? I couldn't tell you your address. I know if I've hit a golden nugget for Nathan, I've gone too far. For Mitch, if it's a pizza place, I just need to turn around and I'll be there soon. That's how I get to places. Oh, man. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a legitimate excuse, but also kind of like you can only use it once or twice before it starts to catch on.
Yep.
And there's a missed opportunity here where you could have had from the desk of with somebody else's name on it, and they could have written the excuse for you. So from the desk of the corn husking hunk, I forgot to inform you that I needed Mitchell's assistance today for a very, very important talcum and rub-a-dub birthday party that we had to throw for the 2 young ragamuffins.
It's also in general, even if you go to the party, send a thank you note afterwards. People will never forget you. So
that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough pontificating from the Flaming Flamingo. I think we need to go on to Nathan's number 3.
Okay, my number 3. This is a deceptively simple title, but it's very effective, and it does take a few steps. This is locking your keys in the car, and it takes 3 prep steps. 1 is remain sober. 2 is have a spare set of keys already sitting in your driver's seat and another set in your pocket. And number 3 is have a very durable cell phone case. More on this as we move on. So, This is a very specific situation that you're going to use this tactic. You've invited some folks over to your house. Perhaps they're new coworkers. Perhaps they're friends of friends who you've decided to promote into your inner circle. Maybe they're new or prospective in-laws. Oh. But they don't make the cut. Maybe someone double dips a chip or dominated the conversation with medical maladies or dying relatives. Maybe they espouse political views that sympathize with certain alphabet-based conspiracies that we don't need to get into right now. Either way, no bueno. So, you get to the end of the gathering, and you've concocted, or myself, the corn-husking hunk, has concocted such a congenial soiree. Was my pronunciation okay there, Mitch?
Right on, brother.
Okay, thank you.
He'll allow it.
So, it's been motioned and seconded that an after party is in order. So everyone wants to head out to the bars. So you have to jump in right away. Point out the fact that you are the sober one, and so you get to be the designated driver. So you get everybody heading to your car. You beat everyone there. You open the door, get a leg in. Then you're going to drop your phone, which is protected by a great hard shell cell phone case. So that's totally safe. Then you're going to bend down to pick it up. You accidentally shut the door, and then you lock it with the keys in your pocket. Now, you gather everybody around and you show them the dummy set of keys that you have sitting in your driver's seat. And you explain that it's your only set. Now, your phone is already in your hand because of the little maneuver you've just pulled. So you quickly pull that thing up to your ear and you pretend to call a locksmith. You make it short and sweet, pretend to hang up. Then you explain, and now this is crucial. You explain that it's going to be a wait of exactly 35 minutes to get there. Just over the half-hour mark, but still plausible. And it's exactly the amount of time where it's not practical for your guests to wait, but short enough that you can claim you're going to catch up with them in just a little bit. So they order an Uber, they go about their merry way. Then you're going to open your car keys, move around the corner in case they double back, and you explain that you were on the way, but they guess you missed you. Then you head inside, turn off the lights, curl up and enjoy Olivia Colman's captivating portrayal of the Queen in season 4 of The Crown.
Locking your keys in your car. This is pretty genius. But this is only getting you out of the second social gathering of the evening. Now, how would you use this to get out of the first social gathering of the evening?
Well, this is
also
you're not going to try to get out of every social gathering ever. Sometimes you're going to be optimistic, and then you're let down, and you need that out. Yes, and especially when people are at your home.
There is nothing worse than being the sober one and you leave too late for a bar, and like there's no plan. Everyone's like, people are already starting like mouthy little drama. People, you're just like, oh. This is going to be a long one, Also, I'm surprised, Nathan, you'd have a party, you'd host one, and not have any drinks, or would you just have like a beer or something like that?
No, I'm stone cold sober here because also this is an audition for the new friends, so I need my wits about me. I need all my faculties about me to make sure I judge these people accordingly, whether I want to invite them back to my home again or go to their home in the future.
Gotcha.
Got it.
So it's a very specific scenario, but one you're going to need.
Okay, quick question. Would you, during this party of new people, would you ever invite someone who was a former faculty at your high school who is now a potential in-law?
Yes, I guess.
What an odd specific question.
You have to remember that the faculty at my high school was about 6 people, so it's hard for me to envision a scenario when this would come about.
Well, okay, I maybe perhaps at a larger high school. You just said you always have to have your faculties about you, and I was trying to make a very bad wordplay question joke. So I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Nathan said he would go home and watch The Crown. I think I would prefer to go home and watch the show that Mitch stumbled upon there. I believe it's Netflix's Mouthy Little Drama. I think that's what I would prefer to watch when I get home. So that is... Sorry, number 3s for both of you guys we've gotten so far. Wow. All right.
Allison, thank you again so much. Thank you so much for coming aboard tonight and just hanging out with us. This has been really special. So
suck up.
Oh, you got a little brown on your nose there, Mitch.
Oh, yeah. I'm a kiss ass, so.
Who shall I award first, Brian?
Nathan. How many points would you give to Nathan for his locking his keys in the car?
I'd have to give him the full 3 points because that is a solid plan from start to finish. It is very well executed.
Woo!
Nice job.
3 points, gets a bell. And for Mitchell's long rant about something we don't even remember, what would you give him?
Are you? No. You cannot frame it like that.
You can't give me bias.
Oh, my God.
I got
I'm the host. I can do what I want.
I have to say I'm giving Mitch the full 3 as well because it both shows that you're responsible and classy because not a lot of people actually put things into calendars anymore and then following it up with a handwritten note. That's just the cherry on top. Way to go, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a bunch of bullshit, but we'll go ahead and move on.
Malarkey.
Number 2, Mitchell, go ahead and give it to us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to keep killing it here. All right, number 2, way to get out of a social gathering, Young Living. Do you guys know what Young Living is?
Please, do tell us.
Oh, Young Living is an incredible opportunity I'm offering to you guys today. Breathe deeply. Our pure essential oils and essential oil blends take you on a sensory journey that can instantly create a calming or balancing atmosphere. From the sweet aroma of lavender to the stimulating fragrance of eucalyptus, our essential oils ignite your senses. Extensive testing of ingredients and a commitment to sustainability means each bottle contains quality essential oils with remarkable properties that are found nowhere else. Whether it's a single potent oil that elevates your spirit, a blended formula that promotes mental clarity, or vitality essential oils you rely on to support your healthy habits, you can find your natural companion in whole life wellness with Young Living. So what do you guys think? We're all here hanging out here enjoying charcuterie and wine. Do you want to invest in your future and join Young Living and bring more essential oils to more parts of the world? Nathan, what do you think? All it takes is an initial investment of $750 and then $800 per month after that for the first 6 months.
Sounds like a deal at any price.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Great, I'll sign you right up. Also, Brian, you haven't said yes yet, but I want to tell you about our 7 pillars. Now, in acronym form, it's Chef U. No, I'm not going to cook you a lamb. No, Chef U stands for communicate effectively. Have a positive attitude. Embrace Young Living's products and lifestyle. Focus on the member first. Exhibit personal integrity. Welcome change. Exercise good judgment. So all those pillars, Brian, can you or do you want to live by any of those pillars?
I'm afraid it's against my religion.
No, guess what, Brian? Essential oils are not about religion. It's not about anything predetermined like that. It's just about humans being humans, helping other humans. So I'd love to have you come on board with me today and enjoy the great benefits of essential oils through Young Living.
How much of what I sell trickles up to you?
Well, guess what? The best thing about Young Living is after you've joined the team, you're part of the community, you get to recruit other positive optimists who are ready to enlarge in their community and better their life. And that's the best thing about Young Living. And guess what? Essential oils, they're not just for smells. They're not just for diffusers. It's not just for medicinal purposes. You can put that, excuse me for saying this, crap in your food too. It's not actually crap though. I mean, come on. Essential oils are incredible.
So I'm looking
Say
at
yes.
I'm looking at the brochure
Just say
here.
yes. No,
It's just
say
covered.
yes.
It's just covered in
Say
triangles and pyramids.
Say yes.
It almost looks like. And it says that Young Living was founded by a Charles Ponzi. How long has Young Living been in existence?
Charles Ponzi got his name from the Japanese Ponzi tree, which grows flowers that create some of the best oils that you can find on planet Earth. A little bit of Ponzi oil just below each ear in the morning will help you feel more like yourself as you go out and you tackle your beautiful journey. So, Brian, join me. Just say yes. Let me put the pen in your hand, Brian. Just say yes. Say yes, Brian.
I
Nathan's
cannot-
already said yes. Nathan's already signed his name. Man,
I'm already dropping those essential oils in my chili before I head out
Nathan
to
and
the
I
party.
are part of the team. Also, Brian, let me just share a little bit more about how I use essential oils. Every morning when I wake up, my two beautiful children, Talcum and Rub-A-Dub, I put a little bit of mint essential oil right below their tongues. And that wakes them up. And they have a look in their eye that says, whoa, I'm awake now. What's happening? And they get up and they're ready for breakfast. So, Brian, here's the pen in your right hand. Or are you left-handed? Let me put a pen in your left hand as well. Just say yes. Sign your name right there, Brian. Actually, just write any sort of chicken
Mark.
scratch you can figure out. Just do it. Just put a B-E down. B. Just B, Brian. Just B.
Mitch, you're triggering so much PTSD. for
Hold on,
me.
Brian. Hold that thought. I'm going to go get some more guacamole and beautiful tortilla chips. Should I bring you something? How about another beer?
How about
Allison, I didn't see you were here. Oh my
Where's
god.
the door?
Let me
Where's
tell
the
you.
door?
Let me tell you about young living. You're so young.
God,
Oh,
no, please, no.
Your skin looks
Okay,
incredible.
young living.
You must.
I can't do it anymore. As someone who has been a victim of people trying to offer these, I remember once I was in a car with a couple of old friends, and we had just gotten home from a movie or whatever, and then
People
somebody
you've known forever or old people?
no, people I've known forever, not
Okay,
just
sorry.
elders I picked up from the nearest home. People I've known for a long time, haven't seen them in a while. We all go out like, hey, let's catch up, go to a movie a couple of years ago, and pull into my driveway. And before we get into the house, he says, hey, guys, before we go in, would you mind watching this really quick video I have on my phone? And he just reaches from the back seat, and we have to sit there and watch this 6.5-minute Ponzi scheme pitch for a travel company. And I was like, are you... That made me want to leave that social gathering real quick. So
Oh my gosh.
young living is all too real.
No, it is real. It's an incredible experience.
No. Nathan, you're number 2. For the love of God, please. Please hit
okay,
us with
well-
something better.
Well, there's no way for me to frame this in a positive light, but bear with me, as my number 2 is poisoning your own dog.
Oh, God.
So now this is your classic good news, bad news scenario.
Oh,
So the bad news is you have to poison your dog. And in fact, it's better if you have several dogs and can sequester them in different rooms of your house when the poisoning happens. The other bad news, there's going to be significant cleanup. It's going to be very unpleasant for you. Now, what's the good news? I can see you all wondering.
Yes.
You only have to do this once, and it will be a valid excuse for the rest of the time you live in your current residence. You're going to go around to each room. You're going to take a picture of all the dog diarrhea and vomit, save them in a special folder on your phone. This was inspired by an experience I had a few years ago when I was listening to or living with a sometimes listener of this show, Russell, who I believe you guys know, and he had a dog named Hendrix, and Hendrix had a very rough day. Russell was on the road. I came home, and let's just say I had to buy an entirely new set of towels. It was so bad that Russell actually gifted me his PlayStation when we separated residences. Which I had until I was relieved of it by the burglars, but that's a story for a different day. Anyways, you take all the pictures, you got them in the folder. Then your uncle Artis gives you a call asking if you'll bring an extra portion of macaroni salad to your cousin's first communion luncheon. Text him a photo of the living room mess, captioned, "I'm sorry, but we've got a situation here." You can repeat this in 6 months' time. Like, say your boss wonders why you can't make it to the team building croquet outing, or if it's a repeat friend or relative, simply use the photo of the different mess in a different room. Caption, "Sorry, but it happened again." And the reason this is foolproof is because no one, not even your most devoted loved ones, are going to volunteer to help you out. So you will never have to leave the house.
wow.
Wow. So How do you ration the poison to make sure they don't die?
So, as a former dog owner, and they died of natural causes, I promise you.
Okay. I wanted to get that out there.
Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever had a dog that has eaten some chocolate, but chocolate is very bad for dogs. And so what you have to do is you have to give them a little beverage that you pour some hydrogen peroxide into, and then they will. I remember my poor sweet dog Wrigley had eaten some chocolate. We had to give him the hydrogen peroxide. And then within a few minutes, his face started curling. Like it was like a Joker-like smile. Because it was like, you could see he was in so much distress. And we were like, I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, he looks like he's just in so much discomfort. But it's like, sorry, buddy, but it's either this or like you might die. And then within like 5 to 10 minutes, the puking started and it went on for a while. And I had to clean it all up, and I had to pet him on the head and be like, it's going to be okay, buddy. This is literally so I can have 5 or 6 more years with you. It's not fun. But so that's the tool you use, is the hydrogen peroxide. Just a little bit. That's all it takes. So there's a tip for all you dog owners out there. If your dog ever eats chocolate, this is how you take care of it.
So we have to award points to poisoning man's best friend, or losing a bunch of money in a scheme to someone you trusted. This is a rough number 2.
Oh, that's a good dog pun. Very nice.
Yes, and I do not envy Allison's job of having to score these ones. Allison, how many points do you give for poisoning your dog?
1. I mean, how can you poison a dog and then have to clean up the mess? That's just awful. On 2 levels.
Yes.
Ugh, that was a rough one, man.
And for being guilted into losing $750 the first month and $800 a month after that, how many points do you give Mitchell?
Like you said, this was a little too close to home. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten DMs saying, how would you like to be your own boss? Hashtag boss lady. So, but at the end of the day, it's very real, and that was hysterical. So 2 points.
What on 3?
No, it's a little too close to home.
The flaming flamingo wants 3. If it hits close to home, that means I'm connecting with the audience, and that means I want 3 points, Allison.
Connecting with the audience.
All right, Mr. Flamingo.
Oh my God. Okay.
Dear God.
All right.
You know what? Someone's going to hear Young Living and be like, that's such a great idea, an untapped market, and create it.
No, dude, that's real. Young Living is real.
Is it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you made that up.
No, it's real.
I was going to say that was impressive because that was very realistic.
I would give him less points now because it's not made up, but that's fine.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, okay,
you already got your 2 points. I'll let you have it this round.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up with Snake. Let's give it back to Nathan for his number 1.
Sure.
What you got?
All right. My number 1, this is the longest of the long cons. And this is to only be used against truly your worst enemies. This is the coworker who throws you under the bus to your boss but compliments you to your face. The new flame of your ex who's overly friendly towards you, so you know they're up to no good, or the neighbor that's hacking into your Wi-Fi and you're sure of it, but they just won't admit it. This is the people you've really got it in for, the people who really need their comeuppance. And this is saying there is a warrant out for your own arrest for the Cornhusker arrest. So, first event you're invited to. Say you can't leave because you have to sort out a bunch of unpaid parking tickets, and if it's not taken care of in 24 hours, you'll owe thousands of dollars. Okay? That does say they still invite you to a second event. Now you step it up. Now you're at tax evasion. You've been funneling all the extra income you've made off selling your prescription Klonopin to your high school-age nephew through an online casino run through an offshore operation in the Isle of Man. As a result, all of your credit cards have been frozen. You can't go to the bar. Still get invited to a third event. Now you're going to want to scour all the news outlets for any spree of, say, convenience store robberies or a series of crimes that implies the perpetrator is armed and dangerous. and then tell your prospective host that you've run into a situation at the nearby 7-Eleven and you're heading across state lines to cool your heels for a while. And then you can keep escalating as needed. Now, this is going to work on 2 levels. 1, you don't have to go to the social gatherings. But number 2, at some point, your nemesis is going to reach their breaking point and their conscience will kick in. They will call the police, believing they have a hot tip. So the police are going to come. But as you are, in fact, innocent, there will be no evidence against you. You explain to the police that this person has always had it out for you, and then they'll be carted off to jail for providing false statements to the police, or worse. At a minimum, you'll receive no more invites, and if things happen to fall into place, one of your worst enemies will be sent to jail when they perjure themselves. No one can invite you to anything if they're in jail.
You really did play the long game on this one, sir. I think this is great. I mean, I think being a man hunted by the law makes you, 1, an international man of mystery, and 2, definitely not eligible to be at a social gathering. So I think you've covered all your bases with this. If you, in fact, yourself had a warrant out for your arrest, what would be your dream warrant for a crime that you committed, Sir Nathan?
If the cornhusking hunk himself was wanted by the law, I would hope it was from Interpol for a diamond heist.
Yes.
Just a great diamond heist, or maybe art thief, like stealing something from the Louvre or something precious from a German castle. Something where what you have taken, they literally, it won't even be insured because they can't put a price on how valuable it is.
Do you have a fantasy of like stealing one of Hitler's paintings of dogs or something, or what is this?
Well, no, like more the Mona Lisa. I was thinking.
Oh,
the Hitler
okay.
stuff isn't. Yeah.
You just said German castles. I thought
Well, that was I read. There was a story a few years ago where there actually was a heist from a German castle. Well, they got away with things that literally couldn't be valued, and I thought that can't even be real. Like that's like a movie. That's not something that happens in the 21st century. But
yeah, that's
what I would want.
Nathan is there to steal the tapestries. That's what he needs to take.
I want a limbo underneath some lasers. That's what I want to do.
Wear a leather coverall like Catherine Zeta-Jones, and just let the hair
Also, I'll have you
dangle
know that for a man who's 6'3", I am deceptively good at both the traditional limbo and the roller skating limbo. I've won multiple competitions as an adult at various drunken events.
Wow. Well, I would have you know, rollerblades were invented in my hometown. Thank you very much, the Twin Cities. So not roller skates. Yeah, I just wanted to pop that in there. So.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know where to go from there.
Yep. I just didn't mean to put a hard break on that one. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that.
I do think Lengthy Under Limbo would be a great album title, Nathan, if you ever need to use that for anything.
Maybe the title of my memoir.
I'd buy that. And it wouldn't even need Oprah's sticker on it. I would still buy it. All right, Mitch, you need to close us off here with your number 1 way to get out of a social gathering.
Yeah, my number 1 way to get out of a social gathering is, of course, I've got a conference. The Flamin' Flamingo is leaving town for a conference. Your friend from college you really only enjoyed hanging out with while drinking has finished being a young parent, and now they're like back in the groove. They're trying to get everyone back together by holding just an incessant amount of barbecues. But guess what? Their spouse watches baseball from his beloved hometown team at all moments when he's not actively shoving a burger down his gullet, aka the parties are not very fun. Oh, and those burgers they grill, they're fucking hockey pucks. And they still think their college-aged vodka beer lemonade mixture is a worthwhile drink. I'm sorry, grow up, get yourself some real cocktails. Okay, so this works. Sorry, but I've got a conference this weekend. You dip into your Whiskaway account. That's what I'm calling it. You find the best deal on a red-eye flight Friday evening. Turns out Cleveland really ain't that bad for 36 hours at a time, And the Holiday Inn Express by the Sacramento airport, their eucalyptus steam room can fit a lot more drunk people than you'd guess. And you take this time to snap a couple photos with an old lanyard If this couple will, of course, watch your social media accounts closely, maybe you get a close-up of a dry croissant and like a jelly packet while you're quote unquote like you're waiting for the big show at this weekend's healthcare communication conference. But be careful. Tread lightly. Never mention the name of the conference or a company that might have been there. You just skip straight to the part where you fell asleep eating nachos from Skip Cactus's Mexican Rodeo Grill, which is just a stone's throw from the Reno Sparks Convention Center in Reno, Nevada. But when you're actually on the trip, this is a whole nother great, flip side to this. Number one, this is the primo opportunity to work on your improv skills by becoming Theo Luddington, ghostwriter for thriller legend James Patterson. And how is that you're able to just nail this British spy character? As you're talking to a beautiful woman at the bar, you're drinking a very dirty martini. The glasses were not cleaned well enough. But you're talking to this beautiful woman and you're saying, well, how I nail this British character in a Patterson novel. Let's name a character. Let's call him Malcolm Turnspeak, if you will. Now, how do I write him so well? Well, guess what? This is where you come in with your British accent you've been working on. And you're from old foggy London town. Hello. Ooh. Oh, where's the key to my room? Oh, I've got 2 cards. You can have one. Come
I
on
hope
by
you
later.
do a lot of work on it.
And it turns out, your trip that weekend to suburban Omaha, pretty darn good. And then you didn't have to go to that fucking barbecue and eat hockey pucks on the cheapest buns they can buy. So,
but instead you got to go to Omaha. Woo!
Exactly. And be Theo Luddington for the whole weekend, hello. Oh, I'm a writer. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I've had these hockey puck burgers before. I've also been to parties where there's 8 people, so they make 8 burgers and think that's going to be enough food.
Ugh.
I've been to the parties where we're too old for jungle juice. This should not be in a trash can. Come on. Let's set up a mini bar. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's have some finger foods, some hors d'oeuvres. I'm hoping I'm announcing that correctly for Mitch.
That is correct. Or also just beer. You can just have beer. That's also fine.
Yeah, nothing but Busch Light. You want to go to that party? You need to specify what kind of beer is there. All right.
You're right. Yeah. And imports doesn't cut it as being fancy anymore. They don't have to be imports because America makes the greatest beer on earth. And I will never back down from that. I will never apologize. America makes the number 1 beer overall.
Top 3 brands, go.
Stone. Honestly, I'm a Chicago boy. I'm going Maplewood. And then also Lagunitas. Honestly, Lagunitas IPA, I could drink every single day of the year, 1 beer at a time. It's delicious. So
I can also get a Lagunitas IPA at the perfume counter at Macy's. Allison, you have your work cut out for you for this.
What does that even mean, Brian? Explain what you just said, because I don't understand.
Flowery perfume, and it's disgusting. That's what it means.
How dare you? Lagunitas is a local company, and on this show we promote and highlight
a West Coast
local
company
great
that happens to have a facility here now.
They
also you're
the
using
majority
the word "we" incorrectly there.
Yes.
Good point. Fair point. Fair point.
You're not going to get any sympathy for IPAs out of this man. But luckily for you, I am not scoring this round.
Point of order. Lagunitas produces the majority of their product here in Chicago. The founder of Lagunitas is also from Chicago. Therefore, I think we could safely call it now at this point a Chicago company. It is local. Thank you very much. I rest my case. Allison, please give me the treasure. Appreciate it.
Allison, please determine how we can make Mitch lose. How many points will you give to Nathan for this round?
For Nathan, I'm going to have to give him the full 3 because as a true crime fanatic, he tugged at the heartstrings a little bit there with the progression of the war, and it's only to have it fall on the enemy. I love it.
Thank you.
And for the Flaming Flamingo, With his
I've got a conference.
His fairly decent plan of having a conference.
I'll have to say it was pretty well thought out, and you have logistics down pat with not naming the conference and not giving a company name and taking a picture of a dry croissant. That's really nice job there. I'm going to go ahead and give him the full 3 as well, Brian.
All right. You can give him the full 3 points, but that means I've tallied it up and... Mitchell has lost! Yay! 12 points for Nathan to Mitch's 11.
Oh, son of a bitch. Are you serious?
It was a close call. There were a lot of 3s today, but Nathan scooted by with one more 3-pointer than you, bringing him out ahead. So, we can't leave today without revealing the Fast 5 last meals requested by serial killers. And Allison will be helping me out with this. At number 5, we have Ronnie Lee Gardner. In the October 28th, 1985 issue of the Salt Lake City Herald-Journal, convicted murderer Ronnie Lee Gardner was quoted as saying, "I'd prefer to die of old age, Your Honor, but if it ain't possible, I'll take the firing squad." In 2010, yes, 2010, he was put to death by firing squad in Utah. Allison, tell the people what his last meal was.
His last meal was a lobster tail, steak, apple pie with vanilla ice cream, and 7-Up. He also requested to watch the Lord of the Rings film trilogy while he ate his meal.
Oddly specific.
Did he make it all the way through all of them?
Apparently, he had this meal 2 days before the firing squad, so I think he was allowed to watch the full trilogy because that's how long it takes. As Peter Jackson,
extended edition?
I don't know. Peter Jackson doesn't know how to end a movie, so that makes about sense that it would take 48 hours to get through the trilogy.
He must have fallen asleep during his meal, right? There's no way you can stay awake for all that boring-ass movie. So,
we can't shit on Nathan for...
I hate every single one of you.
He only made the list because of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so we can shit on Nathan. Number 4, John Wayne Gacy. We unfortunately know the story of Gacy too well. Pogo the Clown cosplayer and KFC manager turned serial killer was put to death by lethal injection for the murder of 33 boys and young men. His last meal?
As reported in Insider, Gacy's last meal included a bucket of original recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken, French fries, 12 fried shrimp, and a pound of strawberries.
what the fuck?
Jeez.
I like how I managed 3 KFC and it's the best food I've ever had. I want to go out with KFC and strawberries.
A fun fact, a friend of mine from college, Sharon, her parents lived across the alley and like down 4 houses from John Wayne Gacy. So
that is terrifying.
Isn't that
John
terrifying?
Wayne Gacy lived in Roseville for a few months and did construction in the building where my dad's law offices are. That's true.
Don't go
It's
digging
terrifying.
there. Do not go digging there, please. Number 3. We're going to jump across the pond a little bit here. This is Matthias Kniesel. In 1901, Kniesel was put on trial for murder and armed robbery in Germany. After being sentenced to the death penalty, plus 15 years, he allegedly sarcastically remarked, "Well, that's a good start to the week," according to Wikipedia. And before being decapitated by guillotine,
He consumed 6 glasses of beer.
That's how I feel. Number 2, Timothy McVeigh. Responsible for the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, McVeigh was convicted of use of weapon of mass destruction and 8 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of law enforcement officers. What did he request as his last meal?
2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
So weird. These just get weirder and weirder as we go down the list.
Jesus.
But nothing is as weird as this number 1. Number 1, Victor Fugger. Before he was hung by the neck in 1963, Fugger was convicted for killing Dr. Edward Bartels in Illinois with a gunshot to the head. For his last meal, this is what he requested. Allison?
A single olive with the pit still in it. When he was buried, the olive pit from his last meal was in his suit pocket.
Upon further reading, he thought it would grow a peace tree as he was buried, as a tree would grow from his stomach. A single olive. And it was just the weirdest thing. We did a lot of research for this one today, folks, and it was very, very odd.
Yeah.
And that's this week's edition.
I was going to say, anyone who loves mint chocolate chip ice cream, you got to try, if you live in the Chicago area, Dean's Windy City Minty Fudge Blast. It's mint chip, but instead of chips, it's like a fudge kind of swirl. It's delicious. I love it so much.
McVeigh would have loved that it was called Blast. So that's...
Oh,
Brian.
Whew,
I went
Too
there.
soon.
That is low brow, just like Timothy McVeigh's brow, because he had a pronounced one. Okay, keep going.
And that's this week's edition.
Jesus
of Cinco.
Christ.
Generously scoring today's game from the Ernst family has been...
Allison.
The man erratically shucking corn under the desk, swearing it's not what it looks like has been.
Nathan Hennenfent, the corn husking hunk.
And the proud owner of not one, but 2 copies of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides has been...
The Flaming Flamingo.
And I have been Brian Ernst, and as BizBear always says, when Talcum and Rub-a-Dub ask you to buy Girl Scout cookies, you say yes. Auf Wiedersehen and adios. You've just listened to Über Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBKstudios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.